Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nick Gray from Phandroid, and this here is the all-new OnePlus 7T. Now, this phone was just announced by OnePlus and will be coming to the US and international markets starting on October 18th. And we'll be doing a full review sometime next week. But until then, we're going to be doing an unboxing to give you guys an idea of what to expect when you buy this phone. Now here it is. In typical OnePlus fashion, they sent us the media kit, which includes a lot more than just the phone, which is right here. They've included the new Bullets Bluetooth headphones, which we saw with the introduction of the OnePlus 7 Pro earlier in the year, so we're going to set those aside. A handful of cases reminiscent of the different varieties that we've seen from OnePlus devices in the past. We might do a separate video on those since it seems like you guys love the cases. And then this here is a fancy book regarding all the features available on the OnePlus 7T. As you can see here, it's running a Snapdragon 855 processor. It has fast and secure unlock, better haptic vibration, warp charge 30, and a lot more. For those who are interested in the full spec sheet, this is it right here. It's running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor and it has 8 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to the base model of the 7 Pro, which starts at 6 gigabytes and then 128 or 256 gigabytes of RAM. And then the display size has been bumped up from the regular OnePlus 7 to a 6.55 inch display. It's still at 1080p, but the AMOLED panel is actually brighter than that of the OnePlus 7 Pro and also reproducing that same 90 Hz refresh rate. So those are the main specs that most people are interested in. Oh, and also the 3800 milliamp hour battery, which is about 5% smaller than the 4000 milliamp hour battery that's on the 7 Pro. And again, it does have Warp Charge 30T, which they say is a little bit faster than the Warp Charge 30 that's available on the 7 Pro as well. So we're going to open up the phone here and take a look inside. It says open. And this is an odd shape for a box. Typically they're not this long, so curious to see why they chose this shape versus some of the shorter ones that are out there. So right on top here we have usual documentation, OnePlus stickers, things like that, things you probably don't care about. And then we have the phone right there. We're going to just set that aside really quick to see what else is in the box. We do have a clear case for the phone included in the box, which is nice. And then this is the Warp Charge 30T charger. It's hard to see there. And then underneath this, the SIM ejection tool. Red USB-A to USB-C cable, and that's gonna do it. No headphones or anything else included there, but OnePlus typically doesn't include those. So let's take a look at the phone. This is the blue color option that they've sent us, and we're gonna turn it on to get that started. There we go. OnePlus logo, powered by Android. On the side here we have the usual notification toggle for volume and notifications. Volume rocker there on the left hand side, and of course the distinguishing factor for this device is the circular camera module on the back. And the difference between the OnePlus 7T and the OnePlus 7 is that there's now 3 cameras on the newer model versus just 2 on the original, which for those who don't know was not available in the US but was available across Europe and Asian markets. As far as the cameras go, you have the main setup that you got on the OnePlus 7 Pro, except for the main camera, sorry, not the main camera, but the telephoto camera being upgraded to 12 megapixels. The others are a 48 megapixel sensor and then a 16 megapixel ultra wide, and then the 12 megapixel telephoto that's been upgraded from 8 megapixels up to f2.2 versus f2.4. On the bottom here you can see the USB-C charging port and then the SIM card slot there. We're just going to try to run through this setup process really quick. As far as the other characteristics of the phone, this one here does not have the curved edges of the OnePlus 7 Pro on the display here. As you can see, it's the flat display, which I personally prefer. And then it does not have the pop-up selfie camera that the OnePlus 7 Pro has, which means you do have this teardrop notch up front. It's not too intrusive. I've gotten used to it a lot with the OnePlus 6T from last year, which was a really good device. But those who want that edge-to-edge experience might not prefer this experience here. Now, during the setup process, they are forcing you to walk through the new gesture functionality for navigating the home screen that's built into Android 10. So back, swipe in from the left-hand side, home, swipe in from the bottom, recents, swipe and hold, and then you are done. And there you have it. As far as the software goes, this is running Android 10.0, so there are going to be some differences that we'll walk through during our review process. But as far as the basic functionality goes, it's going to be the same as you get on the OnePlus 7 Pro. The camera features are going to be pretty much the same. But as you can see, there are some aesthetic differences here with some of the pop-up notifications that you get. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out throughout the UI as well. But if anyone's been using the beta for OnePlus's Android 10.0 software build, you're probably very familiar with all of these by now. So that's just a quick look at the OnePlus 7T. The price point for this phone is $600, or just 1 penny shy of $600 at $599.99. European pricing, I am not familiar with that, but probably close to that as far as euros go, which would put it right between the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 7 Pro in markets that both of those devices are already available. And that's going to do it for a quick unboxing of the OnePlus 7T. But if you have any questions about this phone, feel free to drop them in the comments below and we'll try to answer them as best as we can. But we do have a full review coming up next week, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.